Good morning, students. For that BSc Part 2nd, during last lecture, we have discussed the syllabus of paper number 5, that is Animal Diversity 2nd. Friends, today we are going to start the actually syllabus of this paper. That is, out of that total syllabus, those topics are part of that topics which are related with general characters and classification of all the topics, that is Agnatha, Protochordata, Agnatha, then Pisces, amphibians, reptiles, aves and the mammals. That all general characters and classification that Dr. Kumbar sir is going to take all that. A remaining part of each and every topic. For example, into the fishes, that respiratory system is there. For example, into that aves, that digestive system is there and respiratory system is there. Into the mammals, circulatory system is there. That I am going to take that much part of this paper. Then, so today we are going to start a topic from the chapter number that aves, and in that aves or birds we are going to study digestive system and respiratory system of birds or the aves. A very important topics are there. During your examination, that questions definitely that will be asked. That probability is more to ask the long questions upon such topics, that is digestive system of aves, respiratory system of aves, circulatory system of mammals, parental care in amphibia, poisonous and non-poisonous snakes, and that respiratory system of fish. Such that long questions may be asked in your that examination. So these topics are very important topics in this paper. So today we are going to start the topic digestive system of aves. To study the digestive system of aves, we are going to take an example of a representative of birds as a pigeon. That pigeon, you are very commonly well known about that bird, a pigeon. And that pigeon, we are going to take an example for this digestive system of bird. That is, a genus is the Columba and species is the Livia. That is a rock pigeon or a pigeon particularly, which is a very lovely and common bird, and it is also that it is get very well known to us. So that example, pigeon is taken as an example to study the digestive system of aves. But students, before that, before to start that directly digestive system of pigeon, we have to discuss some general anatomy, general parts of that digestive system in vertebrate animals, and then we will deal to our topic, that is digestive system of pigeons. So today we are going to discuss the what is digestive system and what is digestion. During last year in BSc part first, you are very well known about that physiology of digestion. What digestion? Conversion of, which is taught by me to you all. What digestion in FYBSc? What digestion? That conversion of complex food material into simple and diffusible food material. What is that? With the help of enzymes. You are very well known that conversion of complex food material into simple and diffusible food material with the help of enzymes is called as digestion. Means, in short, digestion means conversion of complex into simple, diffusible or absorbable with the help of enzymes is called as digestion. What is complex? The food that animal takes, that food is complex in nature. In our also, that food which we are going to take into the alimentary canal, that food is a complex one. Means what? What is present in that food material which is taken by the different animals? That food of any one animal contains components of that food, that is carbohydrate, proteins and the fats or lipids. Mainly they contains carbohydrate, proteins and the lipids. Other components are present, but they are not present in complex form. They are present in simple form. For example, that minerals are there, vitamins are there. Such components, that water is present, such components, it is not necessary to digest. Why? Because they are present originally in simple form, that is soluble form they are present. So they are not needed to digest. That digestion is required for carbohydrate, protein and the lipids. Why? Because they are present in insoluble form. That insoluble form, it is get converted into soluble form with the help of enzymes is called as digestion. Then another part of this topic is why that food material is consumed, why that food material is digested. That food material contains, why it is consumed? Because it contains the energy. What type of energy is present in that food material? Energy which is present in the food material, it is present in the form of chemical energy. And in that form, chemical form of energy, it is not directly utilized by our body cells. So that chemical form of energy, it is get converted into biological form of energy. That unusable form of energy, it is get converted into usable form of energy. Such that so food material is consumed. Why? Because it contains the energy. If it not that stones not contains the energy, why? We are not going to take as a food material. So that food is taken. Then why it is necessity to digest that? Because it is present in complex form, it is present in insoluble form, it is present in large molecular size. So they cannot enter directly into blood without digestion. They cannot able to enter into the blood. If they are not entered into the blood, they cannot be supplied to the cells, and in that cells energy is not produced. So that food is required to be digested. So that food is a very simple example. That imagine that if either the grain or seed, if it is directly enters into the blood through the wall of intestine, then there is no necessity to digest it. But it whose that molecular size is very large, grain size is very large. So it is broken down into very fine particles with the help of enzymes. Such is called as a digestion, and digestion is required. With the help of digestion, that simplified food material, diffusible food material, it is taken into the blood, and via blood, with that blood, simplified food material, it is gets supplied to the each and every cell of the body, not only organ, but it is supplied to the each and every cell for the purpose of production of energy. And if energy is produced, then only there is work into the body. So that energy is required to our body. So that a digestion is required. What complex carbohydrate, proteins and the lipids? What simple carbohydrates are converted into sugars, proteins are converted into amino acids, and fats are converted into, or lipids are converted into fatty acid and the glycerol. Such conversion of carbohydrate, protein, fat into sugars, amino acids and the fatty acid and the glycerol. Such is the complex and such is the simple. For the purpose of that is the purpose of digestion. That digestion of food material particularly takes place in our body. That place is called as, where that digestion takes place, that place is called as digestive system. A system in which digestion takes place, that one is called as digestive system. So that is the digestive system. How that digestive system in each and every animal, including that pigeon or the ewes also. What type of a basic pattern of that digestive system in vertebrate animals, that pigeon or bird is the vertebrate animal. In that, how is the general pattern of the digestive system? That digestive system is divided into two parts. Each and every vertebrate animal, digestive system is divided into two parts. One is digestive glands, not here. One is alimentary canal and one is digestive glands. That what is two parts of digestive system? Half part of the digestive system is called as alimentary canal and remaining half is called as digestive glands, or the associated glands with the alimentary canal. One by one we will see that what is alimentary canal. That alimentary canal, half part of digestive system, how it is the tube, muscular, simply it is the muscular tube. Alimentary canal is nothing but muscular tube. Why? Because it is having the tube-like structure and formed by the muscles. So it is called as muscular tube. No bones, only muscles are there, formed by the muscles. So muscular tube. Okay. Then that muscular, any one tube has two openings. One is anterior opening, one is posterior opening. Here, that tube of alimentary canal is having also having two openings. Anterior opening is called as mouth and posterior opening is called as anus. Very simple. The tube has two openings, one anterior, one posterior. Anterior opening is mouth, posterior opening is called as anus. So, and how that tube is not uniform in diameter. Uniform It not shows uniformity into the diameter. The diameter of elementary canal muscular tube is varying. It is various in various regions. Means what? That diameter of esophagus is smaller as compared to the diameter of stomach. Then diameter of small intestine is smaller. Then diameter of large intestine is more as compared to the small intestine. That is, that diameter of elementary canal is not uniform, it is various in the various, that is varying. So, in simple line, single line, what is elementary canal? That elementary canal is nothing but it is the coiled muscular tube of various diameters in various regions. Such a tube of muscular coiled varying diameter is called as elementary canal, which has two openings. Anterior is called as mouth and posterior is called as anus. So, and in between that two openings, elementary canal shows a various parts in various regions. That is, mouth opens into buccal cavity, buccal cavity opens into pharynx, pharynx opens into esophagus, esophagus opens into stomach, stomach opens into small intestine, small intestine opens into large intestine, and large intestine opens into cloaca, cloaca in fish, amphibians, reptiles and birds. Only into the mammals that large intestine directly opens outside the body by a separate opening. So, such that a parts of elementary canal they are there. Then that first part of elementary canal is the mouth. In other vertebrates, that mouth is nothing but it is a slit or opening which is present at the tip of snout region. Generally, that mouth is guarded by upper lip and lower lip. Maybe they are movable or may not be movable. And opening and closing of mouth takes place with the help of lips. Such function of mouth is intake of food material into the elementary canal is the function. Then mouth opens into the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity in our also. Buccal cavity is nothing but it is the area in between two jaws. That is area in between the upper jaw and the lower jaw. That much area is called as buccal cavity. And that buccal cavity has its roof and its floor. Roof means upper part of that buccal cavity is called as roof. Floor means lower part of buccal cavity is called as floor. What is present at the upper part? A palate is present. Anteriorly it is hard and posteriorly soft. So that palate is hard palate and the soft palate. On floor, then inner lining of buccal cavity, it is always moist, kept moist due to the secretion of mucus of large number of mucus secreting glands which are present in the inner lining of buccal cavity, as well as that salivary glands is the peculiarity. Presence of salivary glands is the peculiarity of only mammals. In birds, they are called as buccal glands, particularly into the pigeon, they are called as buccal glands. They are not called as a salivary glands. So, and they are very less developed as compared to the mammals. In other animals, no salivary gland, no salivation at the time of feeding. Such peculiarities are present into the various vertebrate animals. And mainly, two important organs are present into the buccal cavity of each and every vertebrate animal. Two important organs are present. Which are that important organs in buccal cavity? That is teeth. First, that teeth, and second important organ is the tongue. How that teeth? That teeth are, in mammals, that teeth are fixed into the bony sockets of the jaw bones. In jaw bones, sockets are present. In that sockets, teeth are fixed. Such teeth, they are called as thecodont. But in other animals, such thecodont type of teeth are not present. In aves, there is no problem about the aves. Why? Because into the aves, that teeth are not present. Teeth are not present. That jaws are modified into horny beaks. So that's why teeth are not present in what is that? Reptiles, amphibians and pisces, teeth are present into the jaws, but that teeth are not fixed into the bony sockets of the jaws, but they are simply embedded into the fold of skin. In reptiles, amphibians and fishes, simply attached with the jaw bones or fold of skin, as like that of shark. Such teeth, they are called as not thecodont, they are called as acrodont type of teeth. Various types of teeth. The hound, that single tooth or that dentition, arrangement of tooth and teeth and like that all. A separate branch of medical science is there. That is what it is? A dental. Lot of study is there. But we are going to study a general parts of that teeth. Peculiarity is that what is the function of teeth? In fish, in amphibians, frog, in reptiles, snake, the function of tooth is not grinding of food material. It only holds the food material with the help of teeth at the time of feeding. Holds. Other is, or they prevents the food material from escaping at the time of feeding, slipping out. So that is the function of teeth in that animals. But into the mammals, a variety of teeth are present. Variety of teeth means in all that fish, amphibians and reptiles, they all teeth are similar in structure in upper jaw as well as in lower jaw. All teeth are similar in structure. But in mammals, the teeth are not similar in structure. That frontal teeth are how they are what it is. They are having the sharp edge. They are little bit flat. Such frontal teeth, they are called as incisors. At the lateral side of incisors, conical pointed teeth are, longer teeth are present. They are called as canines. Behind that, premolars and the molars are present. Means generally 4 type of teeth are present into the mammals: incisors, canines, premolars and the molars. They are having different structure and they are having also different functions. Function of incisor is cutting of food material. Function of canine is piercing and tearing of food material. That premolars and molars, grinding, cracking is the function of that carnassian teeth into the carnivorous animals. That premolars, these are get modified into carnassian teeth, which are used to crack the bones and to shear the tendons in carnivorous. And molars are used for the grinding of food material. Such teeth variety we are going to study, not in that pigeon. Why? Because in pigeon that teeth are absent. So what type of modification is there? That we are going to study the teeth. Then second important organ of the buccal cavity is the tongue. How that tongue is? Generally, that tongue is muscular, tongue is glandular, and tongue is protrusible. Listen, how tongue is muscular? Muscular means it is only formed by the muscles, not supported by any hard material like the bone or cartilage. So that tongue is muscular. Tongue is glandular means on the surface of tongue it shows mucus secreting glands. Number of mucus secreting glands are present over the tongue. So tongue is sticky, tongue is moist, always such glandular tongue. And that tongue is protrusible means that movable tongue. Movable tongue means tongue may be given out of buccal cavity and may be taken into the buccal cavity. Such movable tongue is called as protrusible. What is peculiarity of tongue? That tongue is mainly used for the purpose of chewing of food material. In chewing it pushes the food material under the teeth and that food material becomes grinded. Such is the function of that tongue. Another function of tongue is in digestion, related with digestion. Function of tongue related with digestion is chewing of food material and swallowing of food material. Without tongue one cannot able to push the food material behind food ball, behind into the pharynx and the esophagus. So swallowing is the function of that tongue. Such tongues are there. Peculiarity is that muscular tongue is present in amphibians, muscular tongue is present in reptiles, and muscular tongue is present in mammals. In fishes and in birds, that tongue is non-muscular, non-glandular, non-protrusible. Means in birds that tongue is not only formed by the muscle, it is get supported by cartilage. So due to presence of that cartilage, tongue cannot able to move. So it is called as non-protrusible. And that much glands are not, very few or scanty glands are present in taste buds are present into the birds. So such it is supported by the cartilage in fish and in birds. That is peculiarity. It cannot able to move, that is, it is get moved, it is get taken out and here given out and taken into the mouth, so buccal cavity, such is not there. So such tongue is present into the birds, or particularly in that vertebrate and fish and the amphibian, the fish and the ave, such tongue. This is about the buccal cavity, general structure of that buccal cavity. Now buccal cavity opens into the pharynx. Pharynx is divided into, pharynx is the common chamber to open the nose. Nose opens into the pharynx, buccal cavity opens into the pharynx. So it is the common chamber to open the nasal cavity and buccal cavity. Through nasal cavity air is carried and through buccal cavity food is carried. Alternately passes through the pharynx. When there is food, at that time one cannot able to take the air in, or when the air is in, at that time we cannot able to swallow the food material. Either alternately air or food is present into the pharynx. A part of pharynx which is present near to the nasal cavity That one is called as nasopharynx, which is present near to the buccal cavity. That one is called as oropharynx, and posterior most part of the pharynx is called as laryngopharynx, where the sound box is present over the opening of trachea, that is glottis, and that pharynx posteriorly opens into the esophagus with the help of a large opening that is called as a gullet. Opening of esophagus is called as gullet, and opening of air pipe or trachea is called as glottis, on which sound producing larynx sound box it is get situated, where the sound is produced. Such two organs we have discussed. That organs of alimentary canal we have discussed. One is the mouth and one is the buccal cavity and pharynx. So today we will stop here. During next lecture we are going to study remaining part of that digestive system.